Good evening. My name is Crystal Fitchett, and I'm calling the Wednesday, July 12, 2023 Economic Development Commission meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. Tonight's Economic Development Commission meeting will be held hybrid for the public using Zoom. Commission members and staff will be participating in the meeting in person. As chair, I will be leading the Economic Development Commission meeting, and the public is welcome to participate when invited throughout the meeting. Members of the public may attend the meeting by joining via online Zoom at https://zoom.us/join and typing in meeting ID 833-5818-5604. Once you are logged into the meeting, please use the chat feature to tell the moderator which item you wish to speak to. You may also call into the meeting at 651-372-8299 and enter meeting ID 833-5818-5604. Tonight we have 8 items on the agenda. The first on the agenda is the oath of office. I'll turn it over to Beth Weber for the new commission to administer the oath.
Excellent. All right, if I could have the new commissioners stand and raise your right hand, please. We have kind of a paper to follow along, if you want. All right. I state your name.
Anthony Strandis.
I, Kaylin Brahms,
Do solemnly swear
That I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Minnesota, and faithfully will discharge the duties as a member of the Burnsville Economic Development Commission of the city of Burnsville and the county of Dakota and state of Minnesota to the best of my judgment and ability, so help me God.
Thank you.
Congratulations and welcome.
Thank you.
Next up on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Do any of the members of the commission have any changes to the agenda? No? Okay, so can I get a motion to?
I move to approve the agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. Al Anderson and Laura Schultz have motioned to move the agenda forward, and it passes. Next up is the approval of the January 11th, 2023 Economic Development Commission meeting minutes. Members, are there any changes to the minutes? Staff?
No changes from staff.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve or accept the minutes from January?
So moved.
Still move, okay. Laura Schultz, second?
Second.
All right, we have Jeff Preco? Okay, second. And it is approved.
Excuse me, Chair.
We have to vote.
We need a vote on the minutes, and did we miss one for the agenda as well?
You
Adoption of the
did.
agenda.
So all in favor?
I'm sorry. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, and it passes. All in favor of the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
And it passes. Thank you for that. Okay, where did we leave off? Fourth up on the agenda is there are no votes on this one. It is just to acknowledge the in-court meeting minutes from the March 8th, 2023. And I don't think we need to do anything else with that one, correct?
You would just confirm
Okay.
whether there were changes or not.
Okay. Are there any changes to the minutes? No? All right. So we don't take a vote on that one. Now we are going to turn it over. It looks like Regina Dean is here to help provide a presentation of the item for the home loan and grant programs update. This item is for information and discussion purposes, and there are no motions or recommendation is required at this time.
Good evening, Chair, members of the Commission. Thank you, new commissioners. Always thank you to all of our commissioners this evening. So I'm going to give an overview of our city, the home loan and grant programs that we offer through the city, whether it's through the city itself or through, there's opportunities through the state as well as Dakota County through the Community Development Agency. So I'm going to highlight what's offered just to give everyone kind of a preview of that, and then kind of how we got there to some of our existing city-funded loans. So our city-funded program, how did we get there? So I think for our new members, Beth had sent a link to our 2018 Economic Development Strategic Plan. That was our first Economic Development Strategic Plan that was created, and there was input given by the Economic Development Commission at the time, our City Council, Economic Development Authority, basically the same group of people, but wear different hats, and community members as well. I believe the Chamber of Commerce and Experienced Burnsville Convention Bureau had some touch points, as well as our Planning Commission at certain periods, and staff. So that was back in 2018 is when it was adopted. What emerged out of that particular plan were 5 goals where we really spend a lot of our time in the economic development world, the staff, and where we focus our Economic Development Authority programs are on our 5 goals. So priorities around heart of the city and around the Burnsville Center, County Road 42 corridor, elevating the city as a regional destination, working on programs for to build awareness around our housing programs was goal number 4 that was highlighted. I'm missing one, but what we're focused on today is the housing program. So we wanted to build awareness around what we have now, but then also look at opportunities to potentially create new programs. So we, with direction from City Council in 2019, we began to do some research about possibly starting a home rehab program, and we surveyed other cities to see what they did. We wanted to see what not only they did with home programs, loan programs, but other assistance, and came up with different objectives. Ultimately, there was direction to allocate funds in 2020 and 2021 towards a program. So we had $200,000 from the EDA to create a home loan program, and we kind of put things on pause because that's when COVID hit and there was budget uncertainty. So kind of put a pause on things, but later in 2021 and ultimately in 2022, we got the thumbs up from the EDA and the council to go ahead and use those funds. So what we ended up creating was 3 housing assistance programs, a home improvement program, a senior deferred home loan program, and a code cash program, which I'll go into further detail about all of those. The home loan program, it's actually administered, it's not administered through city staff. We advertise it on our city website. We have marketing materials such as this handout here. We provide communication within our Burnsville Bulletin and other communication vehicles, but the people doing the work, the people analyzing the applications is the Center for Energy and Environment, and they administer a lot of loans for different communities within the metro area as well as state programs as well. So we have a 3-year contract with them to administer the programs, one being the home loan program, home improvement loan program. It's a low interest program. It can be used only for homeowners for things like re-roofing, re-siding, not luxury type improvements to their home, so you can use it to add a swimming pool to your backyard or a spa, but things to really improve the quality of the home, the housing stock, and to improve just the home itself. The recipients of the funds, they pay monthly payments. There are income limits that apply, so it really hits kind of that not lower income or area median income, and not people that could normally qualify like at a bank on their own. It kind of hits that middle market. And the maximum, or the loan amounts are from $20,000 to $50,000. CEE does all the analysis of the documentation, the application, and all of the payments are issued through CEE as well. And then, of course, there's communication with the finance department here and city staff as well. We have 4 active loans to date for this particular program.
Regina, was this the loan that ran out of money because it was all exhausted? Was this that one?
We have 2 home loan programs. This is the all-age program, so no matter what your age is, you can apply for this particular program. The funds are currently exhausted for now. The way this program and the senior loan program work is when the loans are paid down or paid off, then the fund gets replenished, and in theory, it will be self-sustaining. Of course, we'd be limited to the amount of loans that we could issue based off of the amount of money in that particular pot of money. Right now, the city council has allocated that first $100,000, that second $100,000, so $200,000 to get it kicked off in 2021, 2022. In 2023, they also allocated $100,000. So we're at $300,000 for the 2 programs. And then ultimately, I believe in 2027 is kind of when we think it'll just start to pay for itself. So that's kind of where we are right now. We don't have a commitment to add any additional money from City Council. I think as we go through our economic development strategic framework kickoff and look at our housing inventory and our commercial inventory, some of that prioritization of potentially additional funds may come into conversation, but nothing at this time. Any other questions at all? For now, and we can recap too at the end. The Senior Deferred Loan Program, again, this is a city program. This one also is administered by the Center for Energy and Environment, CEE. This is low interest, 2% interest. However, there's a deferment. No payment is required for this loan until the house is sold, transferred, like into a trust, or residency changes. This is geared towards people 65 and older. They're kind of mini grants of $10,000 to $15,000, again, for home improvements. No luxury type of uses are allowed through this loan. And we have 5 active loans. This one's actually, anecdotally, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but this one seems to be the most popular. The money went the quickest with this particular loan, and so far to date, of course, it's only been 1.5 years that we've actually actively promoted the program, or maybe it's not even 1.5 years, about a year. There haven't been any payoffs of this particular loan yet, but we're still pretty early on.
Does this also have the same $100,000 added to the budget each year till 2027?
So
That's
pot-
the whole budget for both?
Exactly, it's shared. So there's, I believe it's 75% of the budget goes to, the way we split it up, I believe 75% is for the all age, and then 25% is for the senior. And that's how we've just split it up for now, just so the one senior doesn't eat everything up. And then we have our Code Cash program. So this does not come out of the ADA, it comes out of the general fund. We've allocated $35,000, I think, each budget cycle. However, to date, we have not distributed any of these grants. So these are grants, they're not loans, they don't need to be paid off. However, the current policy or the current terms are for those that have a property maintenance violation. The particular person needs to be of socioeconomic disadvantage, or they have to hit 2 of 3 items. So be of socioeconomic disadvantage, a senior or disability, or it needs to be a risk, health, life safety, health risk. There's a match requirement, a 50-50 match, and we can allocate up to $2,000. So this is, let's say there's a person that has a broken handrail on their deck. They get a code violation or a letter, hey, you know, your deck railing is in disrepair, it needs to be repaired. They ignore the notice, they, receive multiple notices. It might be a $500 fix, but let's say if we didn't have this program, it could potentially go into like the court system, which means a lot of staff time, a lot of just cost involved, not only for the city, but the particular person. So we thought this could be an easy, simple fix to help someone out, and it could not only help them, but help out the potential life safety aspect of the issue. So, but again, we haven't had any grants to date. We'll probably, with all of these programs that we have, we'll check in with the city council. We'll evaluate and see, is it worth either pursuing as is, or do we need to make some tweaks and changes? And I'm guessing this one will probably suggest to make some adjustments too.
Could you redirect some of the 65-plus people to this?
If they have a code violation, that's one of the qualifiers. So if they don't have a code violation, they simply need new windows because they're just at their end of life. But we could certainly work on our marketing for that.
I mean, some of those might be code violations even if they haven't been issued yet.
I like your thinking. That's a potential, I suppose.
Are there talks at the staff level about whether this feels like it's just a communications situation, or did we perhaps slow down issuing code violations for a certain period and therefore there aren't that many people who've been notified? Or is there an intent to make a more personal reach, a more friendly reach when somebody's got a code violation? I don't really know how many code violations we have, and I know that we also, as a city, in a lot of not safety codes, but other sort of nitpicky types of codes, we eased off some of that around 2020. So what are the talks at the staff level? What are the ideas of what this might be? Are there a ton of people who could use this because they have code violations just sitting out there and we haven't told them clear enough that there's help?
Great questions. Communications wise, again, we have the information in this folder. We post information on our different communications vehicles, Burnsville Bulletin, Burnsville in Brief. One of the things that Beth has done, she's communicated at our staff meetings with our building department and our neighborhood services the code and rental licensing group. And so to equip them with the tools so that when they're out in the community talking, in people's homes, that they can offer, either a home loan as a solution or code cash as a solution potentially. So at that level, we're communicating as well. Could we always do more? Absolutely. But yeah, I think there's more work to do. We have had a couple of applications for Code Cash, but they haven't moved forward with the process. So,
Regina, do we know if most of the code violations are found from like the building officials going out to doing an inspection, maybe because there's a general contractor doing work? Because those would be covered then by the general contractors, right? Those code violations mostly. But I would assume for this, it would be a homeowner that maybe pulled permit to do something for their home, didn't pass because of a code violation, or just trying to wrap my mind. She had an interesting question with how do we determine the code violations, and I'm just trying to think through, how do you even discover there's a violation? Because it's not like the inspector's just gonna come knock on your door.
Yeah, I don't have the exact numbers. The issues could come up through an inspection process. Typically in Burnsville, it's a complaint on a particular property, and then we go out and evaluate if it is indeed in violation of a zoning code, for example. Then it's working with the property owner to get things up to code. And so I guess it depends on how it's, discovered,
Okay.
complaint, or if someone has something, it would likely be a complaint.
Okay.
So that would be largely exterior. I mean, there would be any number of interior things that nobody sees and nobody complains about.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We also, on our city website, and the Dakota County CDA also showcases various programs that they administer. One of them is, or they have their home improvement and rehab program. And the city, actually, we have a CDBG, Community Development Block Grant allocation that we receive as a city, and we essentially turn that over back to the CDA to administer for us for this home loan program. There's a lot of, it's federal government, so there's a lot of paperwork involved with CDBG, and so the Dakota County it's a lot of acronyms. Dakota County Community Development Agency helps us with that administration and pooling of funds, not only for CDBG, but a state home and hope program as well. And the particular people that qualify for these programs need to be low and moderate income to qualify. Loan amounts are $15,000 to $35,000, and in 2022, there were 10 new loans issued. So I don't have the data from the previous years, and the 2023 numbers haven't been released yet. They'll be released, I believe, at the next CDA meeting in July, mid-July, so probably next week. And then there's a weatherization program. It's a joint effort with the Scott and Carver County Community Action I'm not sure what that's for. I'm drawing a blank.
Community
CAP, the
Action
CAP
Program?
agents,
Yep.
program, and the CDA. And this program helps to fund improvements like insulation, appliances, things with home energy. Funding is provided by the Minnesota Department of Commerce, and there's 22 projects in the city that have participated in this in 2022.
This is really popular.
Is this the one that, where we pay half of the fee, or is there?
No, that's different. Yep, that's that is the CEE Home Energy Squad visits. So, yeah, this is a completely different program. And then Dakota County, they also, it sounds like at one time probably had a home buyer assistance program, but no funding is currently available for that. First-time home buyers, and then, but they do offer different education opportunities and pre-purchase counseling for first-time home buyers. And then there's statewide home improvement loan programs. These are administered by the Center for Energy and Environment for our Burnsville residents or other communities as well. So there's a fix-up fund where income limits apply, but there is a home energy loan where there's no income limits. And the home energy loan can be for $30,000 to $60,000. The fix-up fund between $2,000 and $75,000. In the background, I distinguish there's secured and unsecured loans through these various programs, but for this purpose of the slide, I just combined everything. Total number of loans in Burnsville in 2022 have been 9 for these programs. Other programs that are listed on our city website, just to be aware of, that are related to grants and loans, are our water resources grant up to $1,000 for rainwater gardens in your yard, shoreline restoration and native plantings. I hear this one goes pretty quick, so that's administered through our natural resources department. You can get a smart irrigation water bill credit for up to $200. You didn't know that?
Yeah, we should know more about that one.
Yeah, if you have a sprinkler system with a smart gauge. And then we have a program for those 65 or older to remove appliances from their homes and just clean up, grants for up to $300. They can have, tap into this every 5 years. There's a $25 building workshop credit. So if you, as a homeowner, attend one of our, typically they're held in the spring and fall, to give the weekend warrior some tools on either tips on hiring a contractor or a do-it-yourselfer, attend that workshop. It's free. You walk away with basically a coupon to use towards a future permit for $25 off. And then, as Commissioner Anderson was mentioning, we do have home energy squad discounts that help, the city helps pay for that through it's through the Center for Energy and Environment, but through the energy providers as well. We have housing improvement area financing. So this is directly for condos and townhome associations to pay for common space improvements like driveways, sidings, roof, lighting, sprinklers for fire suppression. We have the ability to offer financing through the city. To date, we have not offered, or we have not worked with a association on this for actual distribution of financing. We've had a number of inquiries. We've been able to do this, I think, for the last 20 years, 18 years maybe, and still have not had a association tap into this opportunity. But again, we have had interest. Most recently, the Ridgeview condominiums that are just down the street on Nicollet, they're trying to put together an application, and but we had not marketed that opportunity in many years, and we've been doing a lot more with that. So we do get a lot of phone calls from associations, from people on the boards about wanting to make improvements to their associations. And then the county has a septic system loan grant. There aren't too many homes on well and septic here in Burnsville. Most of them are in what we call the Southwest Burnsville area, but there are loans out there for people. So we, again, market on our city website. We call it our Homeworks program, and we're told that if you give it a fun name, maybe it'll catch and sink in with people a little more. So we're here to help people. If we don't have the answers, maybe at CEE or at the county that can help them out. So I try to lean on our resources, and that's all I have. Any questions?
I just have one, just for the listening audience. If they're going on the website, you would happen to know what space they go to, or actually where on the website that they go to find that?
There is a quick link, www.burnsvillemn.gov/homework. That's an easy link, or you can search just for home loan, and
It'll take you there.
It'll take you there.
Okay. That was enlightening. Thank you. There's a lot of programs out there.
There are.
Yes, I didn't realize how many. Yeah. Anyone else have any questions for Regina before?
I think what's nice is you put them all together in one spot so people can see whether it's a city program or not. There are funds available.
Sometimes people will be able to tap into a city fund and another funding source as well, so they can kind of stack some of them as well, so.
That's a good
See-
idea.
Well, they can always just pick up the phone and call you.
Absolutely,
That's the-
absolutely.
that's the
Personal
answer right there.
homework
Don't worry
concierge.
about
Yes.
trying to navigate a website, just pick up the phone and call.
Yep, we're here to help.
What I will say, as far as these programs go, is that I've been impressed at the efforts by the city to remain competitive, to also acknowledge, it's important to acknowledge sort of the age of our city and most of our homes and the age of most of our population and what their challenges are. And so when you look at the portfolio of options that we have compared to other cities, I think it's a really impressive package that shows that we value the people who choose to live here, and we try to give them the tools to make it the best place for them to live and be safe and be attractive and wonderful neighbors for the people around them as well.
Yep, I think you're right. It looks like there's something to meet everyone's need. So, yeah.
The only thing that's missing in some cases is funding. And Burnsville's been a little behind in that compared to some other cities.
Yeah, and hopefully, with the economic development strategic framework kickoff and some of the conversations that council has been having, I think there's some real opportunity. It's just, we're getting there. We're getting there. I think
Good work.
we will get there.
The other thing that, this is focused on homes because we felt that was where the biggest need was. Businesses had a lot of programs out there that they could tap into, so we focused on the home, and you can see 65 plus in several spots, where we have a lot of people who have owned a home since 1960, 1970s, and they've never updated it, and they might not even have the resources to do it. And that causes them to get a lower price than they could out of their home.
Anyone else? Well, thank you, Regina. That was
Thank
great.
you.
Well, it looks like we are on agenda item number 6, which is the Economic Development Strategic Plan Update. Beth Weather is here to provide a presentation of that item and an overview of the background report. And this item is also for information and discussion purposes. There are no motions or recommendations required at this time.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for being here tonight. And welcome to our new Commissioners as well. As Chair mentioned, I'll be giving an overview of our strategic plan update. Regina kind of touched on the fact that we will be working through an update or a refresh to our strategic plan or framework. But for now, these are our existing goals and what we're continuing to use to guide our work. So the first goal is ensuring sustainability of the Burnsville Shopping Center and County Road 42 corridor. We've had a lot of exciting news in that area lately. Jamba Juice and Auntie Annie's, Chase Bank, and the Cub Foods County Road 42 redevelopment have been approved by City Council since our last meeting. Building permits are issued for the new Panda Express and the Asian grocery store, both of which are located on the mall property and surrounding area. And then also something maybe a little different or interesting to note is that our Community Development Director, Jeff Thompson, was on a panel to discuss infrastructure and how it can spur development and how it can be supportive to developers at the Southeast Suburban Development Summit that was held back in May. Working with the school district and the city. Again, this year, District 191 students were able to write I Love Burnsville essays, and they're reviewed by the mayor and True Stone Financial. And then the winners were invited to read their essays at a recent city council meeting. It's always very interesting to hear a third grader's perspective on Burnsville and why they like it here. And then the city, the chamber, the school district, and several local manufacturing businesses have started planning for Manufacturing Month in 2023. So we have some new exciting ideas, and I'll be happy to share those as they come to fruition more in our planning process. Continuing development within Heart of the City. A veterinary clinic was approved and will be located on the vacant lot near CVS. So you can see a rendering of that right there. And then the city is also working on a Heart of the City district parking management plan. There's several different ways that you can provide feedback. Our engineering department will be at Party on the Plaza next week with a booth and information that you can provide feedback. You can complete a survey on our website, and we have some sidewalk stickers located a couple of different places in Heart of the City where you can scan a QR code and it'll bring you right to the survey as well. So a number of us completed those today. We have a lot of apartments that have been going up within Heart of the City. So the certificate of occupancy was issued for MWF's 162 unit market rate building. That's located on the former Kraus Anderson land by Gateway and Pleasant. And then their 135 unit senior building is currently ahead of schedule, and they expect to complete that sometime in August. And then they also recently purchased and replatted the Concord Place office condos, and there are future residential development plans for that site as well.
And if you don't know where that is, it's right behind the Diamond Head School District building,
Correct, yep.
kind of
it's-
hidden in the trees.
Yeah, it's connected to the other two apartment buildings, so it'll all kind of be together.
Say, Beth, can you remind us what the market rate buildings are, just as a refresher?
So there's 162 units in the market rate building, so that would be for all ages. And then there's a 135 unit senior, which has an affordable component to it. And both of those buildings are located off of Gateway and Pleasant, kind of behind Diamond Head, or near Diamond Head. Regina touched on some of this already, so I'll be a little more brief on this one, but we do want to enhance and build awareness around our existing housing and commercial programs. So the Center for Energy and Environment program that we have for home energy audits, there have been 2 rebates provided and 7 visits thus far in 2023. So I'll probably be doing another push on that in a newsletter soon to kind of drum up more business for that. I'll probably skip over the homework program updates and then just move right on to the Open to Business program, which for our new commissioners, Open to Business is a free confidential business advisor service where residents of Burnsville or business owners in Burnsville can reach out to them and get advice on website updates, marketing, if they're having questions about taxes. And again, it's all free. There's no limit to the amount of services that they're provided, and it is confidential, so they're not reporting back to us that XYZ business reached out to us. We would just get a general report on the number of interactions that they've had. So as of Q1 of this year, they've served 4 businesses and 2 residents. So I do expect that I'll be getting updated numbers hopefully soon, but this is what we have for today. And then continuing the city's position as a regional destination, I don't know if anyone's heard, but there's a unicycle convention and championship that's coming on July 22nd. So Experience Burnsville, the city's Convention and Visitors Bureau, is putting together goodie bags for the participants in that competition. And we contributed updated Tour de Flavor maps so that all of the folks coming in from out of town have a list of some great food options for while they're visiting. And then we've had lots of events. Placemaking continues to be a priority for our department, and we had inflatable loungers at a couple of events so that people could sit down, relax, and hang out with friends and family and community members. And then we also had what I've kind of called paper doll cutouts. So you'll see a photo. They're kind of life-size poster boards where you can hold up a city-themed outfit and you can pretend to be a city staffer, a policeman, or a firefighter for the day. We've had several ribbon cuttings, which several of you have attended. Donut Star, The Open Door, 1-800 Water Damage, Inspired Spine, and Pura Vida Chiropractic. That concludes my updates on our strategic plan goals, but I'd certainly stand for any questions that any of the commissioners might have.
So the open door, that's over in Eakin.
It is, but they serve a lot of Burnsville residents, and so we wanted to recognize their contribution to the community.
Any other questions? No?
Okay.
I think you're still with us to slide right into the election of chair and vice chair.
Yes.
So that's item number 7.
Yep.
And you'll provide a presentation on this item and an overview, a background?
No real presentation, just more, I want to facilitate a conversation between the commissioners. Several of you did reach out with interest in being considered for either the chair and or vice chair position. So staff will not be voting in this matter, nor do we have an opinion on whom is selected, but we would encourage discussion between yourselves, and then ultimately a motion for each of those positions would be requested by our current chair for tonight. So I'm not sure if anyone wants to jump in and share that they had interest, or
I'll jump in.
Okay.
I did show interest for the vice, but that's based on what other people's interest level is.
I expressed interest in both.
Sure.
I have a lot of experience chairing committees, and I also have just significant board of directors experience, so I'm familiar with how to run a meeting. However, I would also be willing to go for vice chair, given that I'm brand new to this commission, so I don't need to jump into chair. But if that is something that we need, I feel that I have at least the experience chairing to be able to bring that. Whereas obviously my experience with this particular commission is not, there's going to be a learning curve there.
sure.
You already know mine. I have no interest in either.
Well, at this time, I do want to defer to new leads because it is time for new people to move our Economic Development Commission forward.
Crystal, will you be a mentor?
I will help as much as possible. I don't know about a mentor, but I will help as much as possible.
There's good support across the panel.
Yes, it is. So, it is Anthony,
Yes.
correct, Strangis, and Caleb,
Kaylin, yep.
Brahms.
Yes.
And so you guys can, he said co-chair, you said chair or chair?
Yeah, do you want to be chair and vice chair?
Did any of our
vice.
existing commissioners have any interest in either position, or just to continue discussion?
I said I'm available, but
Okay.
that's really, just like you were saying, I don't have any need to be either one.
Okay.
I think last time I got vice chair by default.
And you've been a great vice chair.
That does happen.
And Laura, I was going to ask you if you wanted to be nominated, because
I kind of just failed to respond to that email because it came during a very busy week, so I failed to even think about it. I certainly could, but I love to see the new energy from new commissioners, excited to see that. I have a fair amount of leading experience, so the process and the functionality of running a meeting doesn't concern me. That was as lukewarm as one can make it. How Minnesotan are we? I don't know. I don't want to grab the last one. Somebody else.
Well, I have boundless energy. That's no lack of energy here. If you need me to do something, I will enthusiastically do it. So,
Well, that's very positive. I enjoy that.
I don't have quite that amount of energy of
I
what
need
I'm
to-
seeing,
That's
but
why
I have
you
a
could
lot
be
of
vice
energy,
chair.
and I would be
need to,
vice chair.
like,
Sounds
I
great to
need to
me.
put this energy into something, so if you need me, I got you.
All right. Well, then I would like to move that our slate of chair be, I'm sorry, I missed. Kaylin, and vice chair be Anthony. So I make that motion.
I second that motion.
That's quick.
Well, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the motion passes. Congratulations, Vice Chair Anthony, and congratulations, Chair Kaylin.
Thank you.
All right, looks like we're on item number 8, and that is updates for the evening.
That's right. Just a couple. With our new commissioners, I want to do my shameless plug of our development map. It is wonderfully updated by staff and has a lot of great information. So when you're driving around, you want to know what's going on over there, you can check out the map. And you'll see when the public meetings are. You can see what the new development might look like and find the answers to lots of your questions.
And there's lots of development going on besides what you talked about.
There is, yes. Yes, you are correct. I'd also, oh,
Where's the city on selling the land?
it's still for sale.
So you have not sold those parcels yet?
Correct. We have 3 pieces of land for
Parcels,
sale.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right, so they're still available.
Yes,
All right.
good question. I'd also ask that you subscribe to our economic development newsletter. It's called Opportunity Belongs Here. We have almost 1,000 subscribers, which personally I'm very proud of. A lot of hard work goes into it by myself and other staff. We have a lot of information about ribbon cuttings, upcoming events, different business resources that are available. There's a lot of good content in there, so I encourage everyone to subscribe. Our next meeting is September 13th at 6:30 in here again. And just one final reminder, always reach out with questions, concerns, comments. We're here to support you. We're thankful that you have decided and are willing to serve, and we want to be a resource for everyone. So we're always here. Reach out.
And that concludes the meeting for this evening. We are now adjourned.
Nope,
We need a motion to adjourn.
have a motion.
Oh, I maybe shouldn't have taken cold medicine tonight. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Crystal, I would love to move to adjourn.
Thank you, Commissioner Schultz. Can I get a second? Thank you, Commissioner Anderson, and we are now adjourned.